Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're really tuning into something fascinating, generative AI, specifically for audio.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Audio is a really exciting space right now.
We've talked about AI for images, for text, even touched on early video stuff. But sound,
Yeah,
that feels like a whole different frontier.
it really does. We're talking about AI, potential composing music, generating realistic speech, sound effects,
Yeah.
things that sound genuinely new.
Right. Not just copying, but creating. So how does it actually work? I know one key idea is autoregressive models.
Exactly. Autoregressive models. Think of it like predicting the next word in a sentence, but for sound.
Okay.
So the model looks at a sequence of audio. It could be tiny sound samples, bits of waveform, or even musical things like notes or chords, and figures out what should come next based on everything that came before.
So it's like it's constantly guessing the next beat or the next note based on the pattern it's already heard.
Precisely. It learns the sort of internal logic of the audio, the structure, and uses that to, well, generate more audio that fits, like a very, very skilled musical predictor.
A sophisticated prediction machine. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's all about understanding those underlying patterns.
And then there's the other big one, ANDs, right? Generative adversarial networks. We came across those when we looked at AI image generation.
You did, yeah. The principle is similar, but applied to sound. You basically have two AIs working together, or rather, against each other.
Okay, how does that play out with audio?
Well, you have the generator AI. Its job is to create audio, samples, music, speech, whatever it's trained on.
Right, the creator.
And then you have the discriminator AI. Its job is to listen to audio samples and decide if they're real human-made recordings or if they came from the generator AI.
Ah, the critic.
Exactly. So the generator tries to fool the discriminator, and the discriminator tries to catch the fakes. This constant back and forth, this competition, forces the generator to get better and better at making convincing audio.
So one AI is basically training the other by trying to tell if it sounds or fake.
Okay.
That's pretty clever.
It's a really effective way to improve the quality, yeah. It leads to some incredibly realistic results over time.
Okay, so this isn't just like lab stuff anymore, is it? AI actually making music.
Yeah.
That's happening now.
Oh, absolutely. It's here and now. The development speed has been, frankly, kind of astonishing.
Really?
Yeah, we're seeing platforms, tools popping up that can compose, entire musical pieces across loads of genres, too. Classical, electronic, pop, you name it.
Wow. And there's specific examples out there people can listen to.
Definitely. There's one platform, for instance, we can link to in the show notes that's been getting attention. It creates some really interesting stuff. Stylistically quite diverse.
Okay, great. We'll make sure that link is there for everyone.
Yeah.
So how's this AI-made music being received? Is everyone loving it?
It's mixed, I'd say, which is probably what you'd expect, right? Some people are really excited by it. They hear new sounds, unexpected combinations, maybe ideas a human wouldn't easily come up with. They see it as like a new creative spark.
Like a fresh perspective.
Yeah. But then others, they find it maybe technically impressive, but perhaps lacking a certain soul? Or maybe the emotional depth you get from a human performer? Early stuff sometimes felt a bit fragmented, maybe.
Lacking the bigger picture, the sort of narrative arc of a piece.
Sometimes, yeah. Like it had interesting moments, but didn't always hang together perfectly as a whole song or composition. It's getting better fast, though.
Right. The AI has the notes, but it's still learning the feeling behind them, maybe.
Something like that. But it's not just about AI replacing composers or musicians, is it? That's often the fear. But there's another angle.
You mean AI is more of a collaborator, a tool?
Exactly. That's a huge area. Think about AI as an assistant in the studio.
Okay, like what kind of tasks?
Well, imagine you've got a melody. An AI could instantly suggest different chord progressions to go with it, or generate harmonies, or even create a whole backing track, drums, bass, keys that fits what you're doing.
So it handles some of the maybe more technical or time-consuming parts?
Precisely. It can take care of arranging elements, suggesting ideas you might not have thought of, freeing up the musician to focus more on the performance, the expression, the really human parts of the music.
So speeding up the workflow, helping break through creative blocks, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and potentially unlocking completely new creative directions. It's about augmenting human creativity, not necessarily replacing it, making the tools more powerful.
That makes a lot of sense. It could lower the barrier to entry for music creation too, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. Giving powerful tools to more people.
But this does bring up some tricky questions, doesn't it?
Right.
Especially around, well, ownership. copyright.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge one. It's probably the big ethical and legal headache right now.
So if an AI composes a piece of music, who actually owns the copyright?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is it the company that developed the AI? Is it the person who wrote the prompt that guided the AI? Is it, somehow, the AI itself? Although current law doesn't really allow for that.
Right. Our current copyright laws weren't exactly designed with creative AI in mind.
Not at all. They're built around human authorship. So there's a massive debate happening right now about how to handle intellectual property for AI-generated works. It's complex, legally murky, and largely unresolved.
So laws might need to change.
It seems likely, or at least needs significant reinterpretation. How do you define originality? What constitutes transformative use if an AI learned from copyrighted material? These are tough questions courts and legislators are grappling with.
Yeah, definitely something to watch. Okay, shifting back to the technology. Looking ahead, what kind of future applications are we talking about? It feels like the potential is enormous.
It really does feel kind of limitless sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine personalized soundtracks that literally adapt to your mood or what you're doing in real time.
Wow, like a movie score for your own life.
Yeah.
Constantly changing.
Exactly. Or think about interactive music experiences in games or virtual reality where the music responds dynamically to your actions.
That sounds incredible.
And it goes beyond entertainment, too. Consider accessibility. AI could potentially translate music into visual or tactile formats for people with hearing impairments.
Huh, interesting.
Or AI tools could assist people with physical disabilities in composing or performing music. There's a real drive to use this technology to make creating and experiencing audio more inclusive for everyone.
That's a really compelling aspect,
Yeah.
democratizing it, like we said.
For sure. That inclusiveness is a big motivator for a lot of developers in this space.
It's mind-boggling how quickly this is all moving. We talked about the pace earlier.
It's incredibly fast. Honestly, in this deep dive, we've really only, scratched the surface. From the basic algorithms like the autoregressive models and GANs, to the music generation tools, the assistance for musicians, the ethical questions. There's so much happening.
So these next few years are going to be pretty critical then.
Absolutely pivotal. They'll really shape how we create music, how we listen to it, how we interact with sound in general. It's evolving daily.
So just to recap, we've looked at the core tech, the sort of how it works with autoregressive models and GANs. We've seen AI music is already here, both composing and assisting.
Right, and touched on those crucial copyright questions.
And we've glimpsed some really futuristic applications, from personalized soundscapes to enhanced accessibility.
It really highlights this mix of, exciting new possibilities alongside some really necessary discussions we need to have.
Absolutely. And you can bet we'll be keeping a very close ear on how this all develops. For everyone listening, if you want to hear some examples or read more, do check out the show notes. We put links in there.
Yeah, definitely worth exploring. And maybe, as a final thought, consider how your relationship with music and sound might change because of all this. What new kinds of audio experiences are just around the corner? It's definitely something to think about.